I am in Jerusalem, and we are blowing the shofar, just like our brother who we just watched. That's what he's doing. He's blowing the shofar. He's warning people of things to come. And I heard him talk about the gas, what happened in under the Baltic Sea with these three explosions, incredible ramifications. And it's going to, I believe, affect us here in Israel, because before the war started, Europe purchased 40% gas from Russia. After the war started, it went down to 9%. And now, Brandon, it is at 0%. In other words, Europe are no longer able to purchase gas from Russia. And where are they going to be turning? They're already turning to us here in Israel. And Putin is not happy with Israel. In fact, the last few days on our border up in the Golan Heights, Brennan, the Russians and the Syrian Air Force have been flying back and forward right on our border. What are they doing? Are they just enjoying the view? Are they just having a picnic lunch while they're up there? No, they are sending a message, and this is quite alarming to our military.
Okay, Russia and what other country?
And Syria.
So Russia and Syria are just flying right on your Syria.
Right on our border. Right on our border.
The Syrian-Russian border, or the Syrian-Israel border.
Correct.
Okay. So this is very interesting, because I wonder if this helps to set up the Ezekiel 38-39 scenario. We've been pontificating about that. That these nations come for Israel's treasure. We've always wondered, what is Israel's treasure? Is it gold hidden somewhere that maybe was brought out of Egypt and made its way there to Israel and has been there the whole time hidden? Is it oil? Is it maybe silver or gold in the Dead Sea there on the bottom? Or is it natural gas? Maybe it's all the above, but natural gas is going to sure play a big role now, right?
You know, I for the last 10, 15 years, as I've been reading reports under our ground in the lowlands of Israel, it is reported we have the same quantity of oil as Saudi Arabia has. We haven't tapped into it, but that's the estimation. And I for the last, as I say, 10 to 15 years, I was always thinking that these spoils are going to one day be the oil under our ground. But the way things are shaping up, I think I don't like to make predictions. It could be the gas, because the other thing is, off the Mediterranean coast, Israel has discovered a new source, or a fresh source of gas, along with what we've already discovered 20, 25 years ago. Now, Hezbollah, who are situated in southern Lebanon on our northern border, they are threatening us, along with Russia, and in the past, along with Turkey, not to touch that gas. But we are going to tap into it. We are going to touch it. We found it. We believe it's ours. So it could well be what you say, Brandon. Could be gas.
Wow. Now, out in the Mediterranean, how far out? Are you in the international waters, or are you still within your borders?
Well, this is the disputed thing. We claim that it's within our borders. And of course, that's what most of the fighting, even back to the times of Abraham and the disputes over the water, over the wells and borders, that's what it's all about. Where are the borders? Are the international borders reputable, or are we in our right to say, no, this is within our borders? So this is disputable, but we are claiming that it's within our borders.
What I'm also noticing tonight, the Jerusalem Post, Russia's ambassador to U.S. warns against potential nuclear conflict. How concerned are you guys tonight about America and Russia and China going to war?
Yeah, it is very concerning. I read a story um, when Vladimir Putin was about 6 years old. In his home where he grew up, he cornered a rat. He was chasing a rat. He cornered a rat. The rat realized it was cornered and it jumped out and attacked Putin's face and scratched his face. And the moral of that story is, what will Putin do if he feels cornered or humiliated? And we are not taking his threats as a bluff. We are very, very concerned. The other thing, I don't know if the previous speaker mentioned this, but it is reported that Putin, apart from calling up at least 300,000 people to reserve duty, he has ordered a massive amount of iodine
Yes,
pills.
yes, yes,
So you did hear that.
yes.
And
Which
apparently,
tells you, which for those who don't know, I think the iodine is again to protect your thyroid and other things in a nuclear blast.
yeah, this is also very concerning. So, yeah, we are concerned. Our leaders are not saying too much. We don't want to feed it. We don't want to make nonsense of it. But I can tell you, it is a big concern. We are definitely, the shofar is blowing. It's
Well,
our
wouldn't
new
it be
year.
interesting if Israel strikes Iran, China goes after Taiwan, Russia does something nuclear. I mean, you could have this whole thing blowing up, then you could add in North Korea with what they've got. I mean, this whole thing could come unraveled very, very quickly at many, many levels, a convergence of massive things. And I mention that because new study being reported at Israel 365 says that nearly half of Israelis agree Iran nuke sites should be attacked even without U.S. support.
Yeah, it's a constant major issue in our news. And I would have,
Wait a minute, wait
with
a
the,
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You're saying on your nightly news in Israel, it's a regular topic of striking Iran?
I wouldn't say nightly, but it's regularly in our news. Not only our previous prime minister, but our current prime minister and our defense minister, Benny Gantz, are constantly on the attack, talking about we will not sit back and let it happen, that them becoming nuclear empowered. Um, a few months ago, when your president, or rather your leader, Joe Biden, came to visit here, uh, and then on top of that, the B-52 bombers, the American B-52 bombers that are flying in the region. What are they doing here? Flying. On top of that, Israel purchasing 4 of these B-52 bombers that also enables our jets to refuel in the air. What is happening? What's the picture being painted? So it's a regular topic in our news, and normally Israel doesn't verbally go on the attack, especially on things like this. But even our current prime minister, who's considered a bit of a liberal, even he is talking about it. And we got our elections coming up in 40 something days. And so the timing, our analysts are saying that perhaps we will wait. If something is going to go down, we will wait until after the elections. Don't know.
So are you telling me that within the next, let's say, 3 months, Israel's going to likely do something about this problem with Iran, or are we going to be 6 months, a year out, and still talking about it?
So a year ago, we were talking about it just as much as we're talking about it now, Brandon. Benjamin Netanyahu talked about the time bomb ticking away. Our experts, they know a lot more than you and I. So I don't know the major factors that they are taking into place here. I know that there have been a number of attacks against some of the nuclear scientists and physicists, as well as attacks into the cyber element of these nuclear sites, trying to infiltrate within the sites to pull down. We did this a number of years ago, where we
It was called Stuxnet. Stuxnet.
correct, exactly. So there are efforts in that field as well.
What about the freedom fighters, the young people that are rising up, saying no to the ladies to the hijab? They're saying no to Sharia, to Islamic law. They're tired of the dictator. What do you make of that? Are you guys following that in Israel?
We certainly are. And again, if we go back to the prime ministership of Benjamin Netanyahu, when other rebellions rose up in Iran, and believe me, this is not the first time that it's happened in Iran. The problem is, it doesn't matter what the cause, no matter how justified that the people of Iran feel, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard are absolute merciless. They have a zero tolerance, and they're very loyal to the Iranian government and to the butcher, the president of Iran. So Benjamin Netanyahu even sent messages rather, to the Iranian people when he was the prime minister, saying, "We are with you, we are supporting you." He tried to, kind of steal the hearts, which is what King Absalom did to the people. So we are watching it very carefully, and it reminds me in 1978 when there was the Iraq-Iran war. Our prime minister at the time, Menachem Begin, was asked, "Mr. Begin, what is your comments on the Iraq war?" And with tongue in cheek, because he had a bit of a sense of humor, he said, "I wish both sides the very best." And so we don't want to see people getting killed as what is happening. We want to see that Iranian regime come down, but it's going to take something pretty serious to happen.
Yeah.